Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today I am doing a reaction to some knife videos. I am a knife guy. I have a knife channel where I test and review all different kinds of knives and other EDC gear, and then I also teach freehand knife sharpening. So let's get into this. Oh, looks like he's getting a pull-through sharpener.
We've got the Jarvis Walker knife sharpener. Seems
We're gonna
legit.
talk about
Seems
this one for
rusted.
sure.
But anyway, we should give this one a try as well, David.
Okay, Ray.
My fishing people, you know Ray loves fish. This Jarvis Walker. If you live in Australia and you like to fish and you go to Kmart for some gadgets, you'll see this brand quite frequently. They don't necessarily produce the best fishing gadgets, definitely one of the cheapest. Let's open this up, see how this knife sharpener compared to ours. It's only $4.50. Out of the box in my hand, this is rubber for grip. This is plastic for strength. This is supposed to be tungsten, but you can see it doesn't have any coating. Look at their tungsten. I don't know if it's tungsten or not. It's already oxidized. Remember this? This is our little fellow. It's quite hard for Ray to understand how to use this. You're supposed to hold it like this, right? How do I sharpen a knife with this? It's a question. If I do this, it's quite dangerous. Once it's slit, it will cut my fingers. This? Oh. You need to be careful if you slit. The dull knife is an unsafe knife.
Okay, well, let me explain exactly what that thing was doing because I personally wouldn't use those. Now, they do have a purpose, though, and the purpose is if you're in the field and your edge is dull and you need to finish your job and you need your edge to be sharper, you can use one of those. But the point is that as soon as you get home, you're going to put a proper edge on your knife. So because basically what that's doing is it's just micro beveling your edge. It's putting different angles of micro bevels on your edge. And the more you use it, the less edge retention you will have. So the third time you use it, your edge is going to go dull way faster than it did the first time you used it because you're just micro beveling on top of micro bevels. So, and a micro bevel is exactly what it sounds like. If this is your edge bevel, a micro bevel would come in and be a high angle right at the tip of the edge. Now, like I said, it does have its purpose, and its purpose is if you're in the field dressing a deer or something like that, and you just need your knife sharp to finish the job until you get home, then you can properly sharpen your edge. That's the time when you'd want to use that. But you always want to use it with the intent of resharpening your knife, because otherwise it's just damaging your edge. Now, this is a proper way to maintenance your edge out in the field. This is a good way to make sure you can tune your edge up and make sure it's nice and sharp out in the field. It's a great device. I highly recommend it to anybody, especially if you work out in the field, if you hunt, fish, camp, anything like that. It's a system that can give you a proper edge on your knife if you need to fully resharpen your knife, because you can fully resharpen it 100% with this system. But you can also use it for maintaining your edge. So you can use the strap or the ceramic hone that's on it, the ceramic rod that's on it, and you can also do serrations with it. So it's an all-in-one system for out in the field. And you know, you can technically even use it at home if you want to, you know, if you want to resharpen your knife. It's not going to be the optimal sharpener, but you can use it.
How to sharpen a knife. This is one sharpener that does it all. It's one that I keep in my
I do have many videos on this exact system. I highly recommend it, by the way.
bug-out bag and my vehicle. This is the guided field sharpener by WorkSharp. So there's four sides. There's a coarse diamond side, there's a fine diamond side, there's a ceramic side with 3 settings, fine, coarse, and 1 for fishing hooks. And there's also a leather strip on here for stropping. Let's see how this works. How it works is very simple. If your blade is very dull or is damaged, you start on the coarse side.
You see this little thing right here? That is the angle. So you have the angle already set for you. Now, if you want a lower or a higher angle, you're going to have to figure that out yourself. But as long as you're willing to use a 20-degree angle, which is pretty common for a lot of factory edges, you can use their angle, and you just have to continue to hold it as you go across the stone.
Make a few passes using this 20-degree guided edge until your blade is no longer dull. Then you're going to switch around to the fine diamond side using that same 20-degree edge. Make a few passes, always trying to maintain that angle. Then you're going to switch over to the ceramic side, which is 25 degrees. Then to put the final polish on the blade, you're going to follow this 25-degree reverse guide on the leather stropping side.
Yep, very good.
And that is going to give you a knife that is paper cutting sharp.
Okay, so this says friendly knife fighting between Philippine Marine and a USMC. So let's see how this goes. Okay, right away, the guy's trying to be more intimidating than anything. Just the way he's moving, you know, the knife around, it's more of an intimidating factor. I'm not saying he doesn't know how to use the knife or he's not a good knife fighter, but that's obviously what he's trying to do to the USMC, the United States Marine. Okay, so now they're getting at it, and you can see he slashed first, but it didn't look like he got him, and now the Marine is coming in. Ooh, looked like the Marine won. I'm not positive, but he looked a little bit more practical, in my opinion. You know, not taking anything away from the Philippine Marine. Uh, you know, obviously it's a knife fight, so first one to land, you know, is the one that wins in a way. Even though in reality it would continue going, but yeah, it just looked like he was a little bit more practical with his knife fighting, while the other guy was being a little bit more of a showman. Okay, so I actually know this guy. This is Tomas. I actually met him at Blade Show last year, and he has I think it's a CVV Orthros, which is a double position knife. So what you can do is it has a button right here. You can push that button and it'll go into another position, just like that. So you can lock it into like a punch dagger or open into a straight dagger. It has a double-edged recurved blade with serrations, with nasty serrations. So it's technically not a fixed blade, but it works very similar to a fixed blade. And yeah, shout out to Tomas. Let's finish. Well, right there, he spun it. So he had it in the open position, or sorry, in the up position like this. And then he went back and then right around to his hand so his fingers can wrap around the guard. Because when you have your finger in there, you can spin it around different ways. So he had it up in this position to show you, wham, just like that. And then he stuck it right into the skull of the ballistics gel, or ballistic skull. Now he used his own hand to pop it out. So he basically used this arm to create momentum to pull it out. So it'd be a little more rapid. Sometimes, especially with corners and stuff, the knife might get stuck in there and be hard to yank out. So giving a quick pop might pop it out a little bit easier. And then you can see he's switched grips right now so that he could go around to the throat. And he basically used the secondary tip on this to hit the throat. And then he's using his left hand, or his non-dominant hand, to push the head to kind of create a little bit more momentum with his throat cut. Then he spun it around into the reverse grip, swiped it across the stomach, and now right into the chest. And this is a lethal blow. You can see it went right in between the rib cage, right between the rib, right to the heart. And it is pretty much fully in. It's a 3.5-inch blade. So that is definitely a lethal blow and would definitely reach the heart.
5 fastest.
Next is 5 fastest knives of all time. We'll be the judge of that.
Knives of all time. Number 1, kinematic opening action. You've got 2 arms that rotate on the back of the knife. All it takes is a simple push of your thumb.
Okay, you guys will see how this works. I've actually had one of these on the channel. There's actually a new version of this coming out right now with a drop point blade instead of a hawkbill blade. A hawkbill blade is exactly what the blade shape is on this.
And it launches the
You see, it kind of looks like a claw.
blade open, and then you don't even have to adjust your grip to hold
So
it.
yeah, you just smack down with your thumb, and the arms right there extend out, opening the knife up, and then you can use it like a karambit,
knife.
Does
Number
lock.
2, Switchblade.
So this is an OTF, automatic. OTF stands for out the front. I will pull one up here in 1 second. We'll take a look.
Whether you go with a push button auto or an out the front automatic, the spring loaded action of these blades ensure that they open quickly.
Okay, so this one's a ProTech. This is an out the side. The last one was a Microtech. Those are just the companies that make them. So this is an out the side. The difference is an out the front goes out the top, just like that. Now, the problem with these is that in a situation where, because they are kind of labeled more of a self-defense knife, but they're also used for just regular EDC stuff. So I'm not trying to discredit their use in day-to-day tasks. But people that do like to carry them for self-defense, the one problem is that they can come off track. Now, in the event that happens, now my knife is out of battery. So the only way to deploy it now or to fix it, I have to whip my wrist really good. Now it's back open. Or I have to manually pull on it. And you got to be careful for not to get the edge, yank it out. Now it's back on track. So that's the one negative thing. Now, once it's open, and sometimes they can misfire, but once it's open, now it's not going to close. I can stab it through anything now and it's not going to close. And they are actually pretty strong, but in the deployment, that is when things can go wrong. Now, an out the side is basically just the same thing. You just hit a button and it shoots out. This is a manual knife. And to me, an automatic is no more faster than a manual knife. And I'm going to prove it right now. Which one was faster? Probably this one. And this is a manual. There's no spring in this. And this is a reason why a lot of people would prefer a manual knife. There's less things to go wrong. The spring's not going to break. And it's just as fast. So, yeah, having a button can be maybe a little bit easier because you don't have to learn how to deploy a knife. But with detents and the way a knife is so smooth, look how smooth this knife is. I don't have to fight any. Here's a flipper. I don't have to fight against a spring because, like, say if this was assisted, I couldn't do that. I would have to manually close it to fight the spring. And in this case, it makes it to where the knives have a little bit more care put into them because, one, they have to tune the detent so that it can rapidly deploy. They got to make sure it's nice and smooth so it also rapidly deploys. And that just feels a little bit better than throwing a spring in it and, and not doing the other things, right? So that's why a lot of people prefer, especially real knife people, prefer, usually, not always, but in many cases, prefer a manual knife over an automatic or a spring-assisted knife. There's just less things that can go wrong, and they're just as fast.
Button auto or an out the front automatic, the spring loaded action of these blades ensure that they open quickly every single time. Number 3, axis or crossbar locks. The centrifugal action allows you to.
So a crossbar lock is a bar that's on the back of the handle. It's actually a very strong locking mechanism, and I actually have one right here. So this is actually the same knife that he has right there, but basically it has a bar back here that goes up and down. And when it's open, that bar has 2 springs pulling it up behind the tang of the blade. So now it's locked, very strong lock. And you just pull this down to let it close. So nice, fast way and strong deployment or strong lock. Benchmade Griptilian, by the way.
Open very quickly once you have it out of your pocket, and it's also one of the quickest back into your pocket too. Number 4, the Emerson Wave or other pocket deployers like it. Whether it's on a karambit or a standard folding knife, the hook allows you to catch the blade on the hem of your pocket and open it as you pull it free, making it almost as quick as a fixed blade. And number 5, fixed blades.
So let's go back to that last one. I actually have that knife. And so right here, basically what it's doing is it has a little hook right here. So when you have it in your pants or in your pocket and you go to pull it out, you can use that hook to grab the blade and yank it. And then it's already opened up coming just out of your pocket. So it's a fast way to deploy a knife. It's definitely the fastest way to deploy a knife aside from a fixed blade, right? Because a fixed blade is just, you just yank it out and it's ready. It's kind of with same thing with these. You just have to catch that hook, which is very, very easy to do. So this would be a hawkbill blade as well, and also a karambit. I do have videos on this knife, but this is in magnet cut steel, and it is made by Lion Steel, designed by Ernie Emerson. And then this last one is a fixed blade, which
Especially
obviously is going to be the fastest.
One with a sheath design that allows you to get your full grip on the handle before you draw it. Just grab, pull, and cut.
Okay, so now we have some knife attacking. Now I will say, I think most knife self-defense guys are full of crap. I think most of them, it's more theater than anything, but let's get into it. Okay, one thing I gotta say, I respect what they're doing right here, because they're actually trying, like they're actually fighting, and this is kind of what it probably really looked like in real life. I've actually seen people attacked with knives. I've seen people stabbed before. I've been in knife attacks, and it's not like the theatrical stuff with people, you know, moving their arms in a way that's gonna, you know, block you and, you know, and tie you up and all these things. The best thing you can do if you can't run is to attack the limb that has the weapon, and attack it 100%. Not 50%, not 25%, 100%. So go all in. You're either all out or you're all in. And if you're all in, then you're all in. And you got to attack that arm to the best of your ability and get it out of the fight, because that's the deadly, you know, that's the weapon, right? So, and that looks like kind of what they're trying to do. He's trying to stop this guy, and it's difficult. It's not easy, and most likely you're gonna get stabbed. I mean, you have a way likelier chance of you getting stabbed than you being able to defend it off.
The fact that you got stabbed is just to showcase how serious and how challenging being in a situation like that is all about.
How he's trying to attack the limb as best as possible, but the guy's moving, and that's how it would really go in real life. You know, you can plan and you can attack the limb that has the knife, but are you going to get it?
What you did is something that is expected of someone coming from your background. You ready? Okay. So,
by the way, I'm not a knife fighting expert in any way, shape, or form, so I'm not trying to pretend to be. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. And you see him just now, you put the mouth guard in. That's to protect his teeth, because when you're training and stuff, sometimes you'll catch some bows, sometimes you might get stiff-armed in the mouth, or even just accidentally head-butted, and you don't want your teeth getting knocked out.
so you know I'm going to attack you, right?
Yeah. I'm ready now.
Okay, so I would say that, just from my perspective, and you know, I know hindsight, but he's trying to stop the guy more so than that arm, and that's what I mean. Like focusing on that arm, attacking that arm 100% is the goal, which he's doing right there, which he is trying to do. So I don't want to take that away.
Okay, good. You have tried to.
You see right there, he tried to block it, he tried to stop it, but he was unable to. It was just too fast, too much power. You know, like they say, something in motion wants to stay in motion, right? So when your arm's coming up with a knife, it's going to be a lot more difficult to stop it than it is for them to hit you.
Intercept and control the arm.
And then you see he tried to grab a hold of his body, and he was able to reach right over and stab him.
Yeah.
You moved around. You tried to try different angles. You tried to flank a little bit. So you did a lot of very good work, very good footwork.
Very good, though. I'm so happy to see people training, because I think that's the number one thing. The number one thing you can do is train, because you're always going to fall back to your habits. And if you don't have the habit of fighting or certain habits, you think you're going to do certain things that you are absolutely not going to do. You will fall back to your habit. So train, train, train. Now, this is a behind the scenes knife fight. This is basically how it really goes in the movies, right? Because in the movies, you see the edited version after they've already, choreographed everything. But this is actually what it looks like. And you can see how fake their knife fighting really is, which obviously it is, right? It's a movie. I know. Like right there, you see that kick? The kick didn't even come within 2 feet of her. But in the editing, they'll clean that stuff up. You see how he's allowing her to get up right here. He has is there a knife on the ground? No, but he's standing over the top of her. In real life, you wouldn't allow this person to get up. Okay, so this guy I actually like. This is a guy, and I'm not trying to take away anything from the other guys. They were awesome training, right? This guy, though, I've seen a little bit of his videos, and he seems to kind of know what he's talking about, and seems like he's done some good training. Let's watch.
Do you know what to do in that situation? Now, a lot of you guys are going to say you'd run away. You should. If I see a knife coming at me, I'm running as fast as I can. If I have a weapon, maybe I'm drawing that weapon and taking care of business. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it's a sneak attack. So worst case scenario.
Which that's exactly, in many cases, how it would be. I've actually seen somebody get stabbed that way with a 100% sneak attack. And yeah, this is going to be the area where they most likely hit, is right there in the gut, the stomach area. So knowing how to protect that area, or having I want to say training, but just having the habit of protecting that area is going to be very important.
Is right there. I'm going to train that it's already there. Should you do that all the time? It's up to you. I've been hit. Let's say that comes in. I see it. Same thing. I'm in. I'm holding. I'm trying to get in.
Take control of that arm. Like I was saying before, take control of it.
Control positive of the weapon. I want to make sure he doesn't hug me. I wrap, I push, I control it, push back. There's a chance for me to get away. I'm gone. The reality of knife defense is staying safe.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I think that's enough for this video. Let me know down in the comments if you like this type of content. I think I'm gonna do quite a few of these. I actually kind of enjoy this, so we'll see how some of the future videos go. Don't forget to hit the like button, and also let me know down in the comments if you do like this stuff. I love you guys. Peace.